Hello, and welcome back to Talking Candid. We've got some very special guests with us today from the Reward Collection.
Woo! Hi guys, thanks for having us.
Do you want to introduce yourselves, guys?
I'm Lucy and I'm head of the UK team.
And I'm Beck, I'm a National Business Development Manager. So we are the Reward Collection. So we consider ourselves a bit of an aggregator in that we manage relationships between brands and publishers. We've been going for about 3 years, and I think when the company first started, the owner, Tom, his goal was to kind of help small businesses and put them in touch with really big audiences, kind of help like local restaurants and hair salons, but as the company's grown, so have our network of publishers, so have the amount of customers that we reach, and obviously so have the brands, so have the like scale of brands that we speak to. So yeah, it's our job to kind of put brands in touch with millions of customers. It's performance marketing, and I guess the technology behind that is card linking. So what that is basically customer registers a bank card with a reward program, and what we need is the brand's merchant ID. So that's a unique ID number that's connected to the payment processing system. It can either be online or in store. So every card terminal has its own merchant ID. And from that, we track transactions, so we can essentially see where customers are spending the money.
That's so interesting. So you can literally track a conversion journey, like both in-store and online, is that correct?
Yeah, so we get like a 360 view of where the customer's spending. So are they spending more online? Are they spending more offline?
And even geographically as well, like are they spending more in the north, in the south? We can kind of also track, if it is stores, where those customers are coming from as well, which is really handy for brands.
Amazing. I mean, I guess the data that you get is really juicy and kind of spotting where seasonal trends are, what people are purchasing and like purchase behaviour. Like, what have you learned from the data that you've gathered?
Like, it's an interesting one, that, because at the moment, obviously the data we get is more, it's a transactional level, so we're not getting specifics in regards to, you know, their age, you know, where they're kind of from. But what we are trying to do now is build our own kind of data system. So we've got like 3 years of data now for all of these big brands and all of these different verticals. So what we want to do is kind of collate that all together and figure out, you know, from the 3 years of data, who are these customers, like where, like what are the trends in the year of when customers are spending, you know, is there certain kind of patterns in customer spend, whether that be if they're new or lapsed. All this information that we've got from the 3 years, we want to kind of put together and
create a bit of a timeline, I think, and like maybe like a year view from January to December, and have a look at all the different sectors that we work with. Obviously, we onboard brands from all different sectors: food and beverage, beauty, fashion. So it'd be really cool if we could, like Lucy said, from the 3 years of data that we've already got, have a look at all these different sectors and be like, where are the spikes, where are the dips? And that'll help us in our job as well. We can then present to brands and be like, we foresee that you're going to have a dip in like March or whatever, and help them with that visibility and exposure. So,
and I guess like put them in front of new audiences to kind of combat that. It's really interesting because in the kind of performance marketing industry at the moment, one thing that we're kind of combating is these cookie banner policies. Like privacy policies are meaning that we're getting a huge chunk of our data restricted, and that's making it hard to make strategic decisions. It's hard to accurately benchmark against like the previous years. So you can literally see like the data like plummet as soon as like a cookie policy is implemented. And what that means for the listeners is that there's a cookie banner and you've got to opt in to be tracked. And when people
that's
don't
when you enter a website, isn't it? And it says like accept or reject.
It's like that annoying thing that pops up that you're like, get out of the way.
As soon as you can.
So if you click off it or if you opt out, but it's classed as opting out. So you have to click accept, and it's only those people that we can track. So having that data like is so valuable.
Like, how many, out of curiosity, do you actually accept? Because like, I don't know about you, that's not always an extra, isn't it, as soon as it comes up?
Yeah.
Like, Do you have kind of rough statistics on what that is?
We've been seeing about like an 80% decline in sessions, in conversions.
Oh my God, that's really
I mean, that adds up because like who wants to, it just feels invasive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like accept our terms and conditions for us to like track you. Like you're always like fuck that. Like no, like X.
That's why it was named Cookie, because it seems like a friendly name. Like
really?
No way.
Yeah, because cookie in reality means tracker.
Cookie means lovely and delicious.
Okay.
But they was like, oh, cookie, it's a good thing. Oh, like the way we use and there was like, oh, the way we use it is that you'll leave like little breadcrumbs on the internet, and like little cookie crumbs, and they tried to make it sound nice. Like... So there was like, instead of cookie, instead of tracker, we'll call it cookie, so it sounds friendly. And then people will go, oh, I'll accept your cookie. Yeah, I'll have a cookie.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not doing that.
No,
Literally
not anymore.
They don't want the
No.
cookies. They're not buying the cookies.
Yeah.
But that's where we can kind of fill in, I guess, because
100%.
we're kind of, I guess, in the same market, or people try to put us in the same market as affiliate marketing, don't they? But we're very, very different from that in that we don't use tracking links. We don't use cookies to track what the customer's doing. We don't see the customer journey before a purchase is made, and we kind of try to present that as we're only interested in driving revenue for a business. That's really what we're trying to do, trying to drive revenue and drive loyalty. Like that. Those are the two main points. And like I say, we don't see anything of the customer journey before the customer's made a payment.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like where we kind of fill that gap, I suppose.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Like, because I feel like a lot of industries, not to say the C word, like COVID. But
You said it.
Like, I said it. I know. I feel like we try not to say it every
it's
podcast.
in
But
It's a really relevant thing, though.
It's super relevant.
And
It
it's
is.
really ingrained in like people's like psychology and purchasing habits. And I guess like my question is, how and what industries are you seeing people spending more? Because people are spending more conservatively, we're seeing on our side.
Oh yeah.
And we work a lot in like the B2B sector, so it's a lot of like waiting for contracts to be signed. And there's a lot of conservative spending. What are you seeing on your side?
We see whatever brands we sign up, obviously that's where we have access to the data, so we can see whether customers are spending with those brands or not. Has there been I don't know, do we see a huge dip? I don't know.
I mean, I think in terms of an insight in that respect, I guess we've spoke about this before.
Yeah.
For example, food and beverage, everyone always says January is a terrible month and it's super quiet.
Yeah.
But because of that, and obviously all of these companies are so much more willing to put on discounts. January for food and beverage, it bangs it hits. It does so well. And
let's do the 50% off to get more people in because we know it's going to be quiet in January. It's not actually that bad.
It actually does pretty well in Jan, which most people are like, January's dead, no one buys anything. That's true, but because of that, the compensation that they've put in to try and outlift that means that January is a really, really good month for food and beverage as a whole.
That's really interesting because I guess that it's influencing purchasing behavior because people have that discount mentality. You go to January and what I expect is 50% off. I'm yes, let's go out for food. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. And it's the same for Black Friday. I'm gearing up, and Prime Day and things like that. I'm gearing up to spend some money because I'm going to get some good deals. It's interesting how you can kind of drum up that excitement for people to
know it's coming as well.
Exactly. And I guess as well, brand specific, if we have a floral company, we can work with them ahead of time and we can be like, okay, Valentine's is coming up, Mother's Day. We're going to change the cashback amount from 8% to 15% to really kind of just hone in on that little week and really kind of ramp the sales up. So if we have enough time, and it depends obviously on the brand and who their account manager is, but if we have enough time to really work on a plan, we can hit points of the year, in that respect, Valentine's Day, if it's a floral company or a card, we had Card Factory as a customer. We can work around whatever is relevant to that specific brand as well, rather than just Black Fridays and Christmas. It's depending on what the brand is, we can work with them to really make the most. Really make the most of whatever their kind of special moments of the year should be.
And is that personalized to the user? What the user will see, will it be different from what I see to say what Dave sees, and what from the kind of consumer perspective.
Do you mean in terms of like what cashback ad you will see?
Yeah.
Yes, you've got a great example for this.
So the offer itself, so the number, the rate, cashback rate won't change, but who will see it will change. So like some of our publishers, the banks specifically, obviously they've got access to customer spending data. They can see all the cards, they can see what the cards are spending the money on. So for instance, I bank with Lloyds, and on my Lloyds card, I only book holidays. So when I go into my Lloyds banking app and look at the offers tab, all I see is holiday companies, holiday extras, booking.com, because they're targeting me as a customer who spends my money on holidays with that card. So you, for instance, let's say you both bank with Lloyds, you might spend your money on, I don't know, like trying not to be offensive and like really general.
Go on, no, do it.
Games, for instance.
I play games.
Oh my God.
He's a gamer.
I'm a reader. So let's say you spend your money in games. Hayley, you spend your money on fashion because you're a fashion girly. You will see offers targeted to you. You will see fashion. You will see offers from fashion brands. You will see offers from gaming brands because they're targeting you.
And
they want to put the offer in front of customers that are most likely to spend.
Yeah. And that's the kind of point that when we're speaking to a brand and they talk about what kind of customers they're going to get or what we try and explain to them is when we're working with a bank with, you know, the customer base is anyone with a bank card from 16 to 85. Yeah. We strategically want to be pushing that out to new customers. I think is it something like 70% new impressions? Yeah. So when we are sending these out, they're wanting to target new customers because they're the most likely to make a purchase on a cashback offer for a new product. But also, like, I bank with Halifax, and when I opted in for the rewards program, I didn't have any ads available to me, and I was like, God, this is shit. Like, I've got nothing. Yeah. And then it was after 2 weeks, I think, and I'd been to a random birthday shop. I'd bought a birthday card. And then my very first cashback offer was Card Factory, 10%, because it knows what kind of spender I am. It knows I buy birthday cards. I mean, I really don't. That's the only one I'd bought. But it knows what kind of spender I am. So it's now sending across a different rivalry company because it thinks she buys birthday cards. Like, here's another offer to kind of draw you in. Yeah. It's super smart.
Yeah, it's really clever.
It's so smart. And I think, you know, we're moving to an age where, like, as kind of marketers, there's going to be a lot of data that's removed from us with these privacy issues. Yeah. So there's almost like an opportunity for like our kind of industries to collaborate so that you can share your purchasing and your performance marketing data with other industries so that they can make informed decisions on how to market to people and how people are spending. And
100%.
It's really, really interesting.
Do you think that you know, obviously we've gone through a lot as a country and as the world as a whole, and there's this whole like term that's going around, it's been going around for a while, which is a cost of living crisis. Yeah. And do you think that consumers are more willing to spend if they've got an offer in front of them, or do you think that they won't buy a product until they've got an offer, until it's on sale, or do you think it's the opposite? Is it more about the brand and the product itself rather than the deal?
It's definitely, we come across this because we only work with cashback, so we don't consider ourselves a discount. Yeah. Someone that's offering discounts, because there's a psychology behind that, in that I think, and I really want to say this as democratically as possible and not to offend anyone, but I think discounts maybe attract a certain type of customer that is looking for as much money off as possible. And maybe in a cost of living crisis, that is, you know, what people want. But for us and kind of the industry that we work in, cashback, we found, creates loyalty, which is exactly what we're trying to do. Offering cashback to customers is going to keep them returning again and again. You spend with us, we'll give you money back. And also it creates a bit of a thought in the customer's head of, the more I spend, the more I save, the more I get back, which is really beneficial for everyone. The brand, obviously, we're getting an increased AOV. Like
that's it. Like, to say on that as well, average order value definitely spikes. Yeah. Because, you know, if you're getting 10% off and you're shopping at Beauty Bay and you need a few bits, be like, I get 10% off. Like, you're more likely to. I can't remember what was it 30% potentially
Increased
some of our
AOV.
data kind of reports we've had back suggest maybe like a 30% increase in average order value. And it's like if you're going to get a good deal, you would rather. That's why like Black Friday works so well because of the discounts, people are spending way more than they would actually usually spend.
Yeah.
Because and it's almost that psychological theory, and it's
free money.
It's free,
it's free
exactly.
money.
It's,
I'm like,
it's girl math. It's girl math.
Yeah.
Free money.
Girl math.
It's big fat girl math. Yeah.
I love that. I saw some videos on that and I was like, you know what? Actually, I can relate to some of that as well.
Do you know what? Girl math may be happening.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like it's the kind of thing like if you pay for a holiday like 12 months in advance
Yes.
and then you go on holiday,
It's
it's
free
free.
holiday.
It's a free holiday, girl. It's
didn't pay anything.
true. Yeah.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Yeah. It's true though.
It's true. Yeah.
So what's your biggest success story been?
Oh my God. We've grown massively, haven't we?
Yeah.
So like I say, when we first started, the aim, and I was actually speaking to the owner about this not long ago, and I said to him, like, what was the aim for the company? Like, was it always that we were going to be speaking to these huge brands? And he was like, absolutely not. Like, the aim at the start was to on board or really help out these small local businesses. Like when I first started the job, I was ringing local restaurants in Birmingham and like beauty salons in Birmingham, and the aim was really to like put these small businesses in front of loads of customers and like give them really good exposure and visibility. But obviously it's grown massively since then. So we speak to the likes of, I don't know if can we name
Can
drop?
we name these
Can
people?
we name drop? Like Morrison's, for example. We work with Morrison's.
Yeah.
They're currently running a campaign with us. They're huge. That's huge.
I think as Beck kind of touched on, the biggest success story I would say so far is TRC itself, because we've come from a position where, 3 years ago we were speaking to local retailers to now, our calls regular with the likes of like
Massive
Michael
brands.
Kors, L'Oreal, like huge brands, Morrison's, like. And where we are kind of in the world now, like, we've got a reach of 35 million in the UK. Yeah. In the US, it's over 100 million. We're going to further expand out into Europe later in the year, potentially. Like, because we are an aggregator and not an individual loyalty program, it means that we can kind of go from a 0 to 100.
You can pick and choose.
So quick,
Go, boop, boop,
we can
boop.
pick and choose. We can kind of be everywhere and anywhere. And for a brand, for us to be able to say, like, okay, we can put you 35 million in the UK, we can shove you over here in the US if you want that reach as well. We're going to be in Europe, we've got to reach 100k in Denmark, which I always speak about, like a little rogue 100k in Denmark, like why not? Like we're in a position where now we have really, really big banking partners coming towards and saying, can we partner with you? And I think for the team, you kind of look back and you think, God, it's 3 years and we're really making moves. And, I was speaking to a really big brand, I don't think I can mention this name, so I won't, but I emailed them to speak to them and I was like, I'm desperate to speak to you, like, can we jump on a call? I've got, I think we'd work really well. And she replied and said, oh, the reward collection, amazing, you were on our list. And I just thought,
that's cool.
That's so
amazing.
nice. Like,
What
you're a really big
feeling.
list. What do you mean? Like, we're on your list. Like, how do you know about us?
I feel like
That's our success story, I'd say.
and I feel like it's really cool from the publisher side as well that we've got like so many, like Lucy said, like banks and airlines and employee benefit platforms that want to work with us, like, because we're experts in what we do. Like we have so much knowledge in like card linking and pitching it to people and pitching the benefits, that it's really cool that companies are actually working with us because we're so good at that. That's pretty sick.
It's a nice position. It's a nice
that
feeling.
brand equity.
100%. Yeah.
I guess with like a lot of businesses, whether they be like starting or whether they're established, there's kind of traditional means of marketing, which is very much like your print, your TV advertisement, radio advertisement, and then there's kind of what we do, which is your SEO, your paid media. This is a new form of marketing for businesses that needs to be kind of shouted about. So, like, how is it just word of mouth that people kind of know about you? Like, how do you get on somebody's list?
CLO's fairly new.
Yeah.
CLO card linking offers. CLO card linking.
CLO. Yeah.
Is fairly new in the UK. Fairly new, like maybe
last kind of few years.
Couple of years old. Really big in the US, but
I feel like they are onto it. Like a lot of brands that I'm speaking to now, and probably the same for you, that haven't got experience with CLO. Whenever I say, like, before a call, you'll do your initial prep and you say, do you have any CLO partners at the moment? Like, what's your current strategy? And the ones who haven't done any say, no, we haven't done any yet, but we're really interested. Like everyone knows some other brand that's doing it. They're all kind of on the cusp of it, and they all kind of want in on this new method. And like you say, especially with the new cookie policy, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of marketing is it's vital to stay up to date.
Yeah, and when there's a new thing, die with the data.
100%. And when there's a new kind of thing on the scene, like you'd be silly not to at least explore the option and maybe run a few tests. So I think obviously like we outreach all the time to kind of, we're now in a position where we've moved away from the smaller companies and we kind of have hit lists which are, you know, the top 100 of whatever our verticals are that we're really after. And a lot of them that we reach out to, if you haven't done any, they all pretty much respond. They don't say like, what is CLO, the big boys. They say, we're thinking about it. We're curious. So I think it's word of mouth, isn't it? From other brands as well. Like they know someone from that team and they're trialing this new kind of concept and they're seeing results. So they want to.
And I guess like I know that this is something we've touched on like away from record as well, but how you kind of brand yourself as well. You've got a blank slate. So like, who do you want to present yourself to in the world?
It's a really good, hard question.
Everyone.
I know on LinkedIn, like I don't know about you, but I see a lot. Like it's like a sea of inauthenticity.
100%.
Me to tears. It bores me to tears. I want to see something engaging.
It's so boring. Let's say it's so boring.
I feel like we might struggle more as a company just because we're not the end product, we're not the publisher or the platform. We are the middleman, we're the aggregator. So for us to kind of find a voice for ourselves on social media, I think we do find it really tough because, like I say, we're not the end product. But and we've spoke about this quite a lot, like authenticity and like not doing the. Beth's gonna hate me for this. I'm sorry,
we
Beth.
love you, Beth.
Not doing the AI generated posts and like being a bit more real and showing what goes on in the office. I mean, we're in the marketing industry. Why aren't we being super creative, real, fun? Like we're literally in such a creative industry. Why are we being so boring?
No,
all you need to do is really just highlight like what kind of problems you solve for your customers and clients. Like that's just simply it. Like you don't need to come up with a load of crap for AI content.
But like everyone does, and I feel like it's one of those things where I mean, to be fair, like our LinkedIn, I think we're doing a really good job. I think
it's grown huge.
I think our LinkedIn is really good in terms of numbers and reach. I think, especially like you say, us being a middleman, I think to be as established as we are in that space, I think we've done really well, and it's a credit to like, you know, our publishers team and what they're doing. But as you've kind of said, Beck, I think, you know, it doesn't need to be maybe, and this is a general thing for the whole industry, as serious as it is. Like we're not surgeons, like nobody's going to die. Like it's not, we can be a bit silly and we can get to know the team a bit more, and we can, you know, like the TikTok trends and the memes and like, what time did you come in the office today? Like we want to start.
What are you wearing? Because like, what are you eating?
Like
let's have a little bit more of that because people buy into people.
People
like,
buy from people.
Exactly. We're not robots, so stop acting like that.
It should be a bit more fun, I think. And I think we're starting to experiment with that side of it now, definitely. And like who the people are, because you want to work and partner with your mates and people that you build a relationship with.
So
exactly,
because you're going to be communicating with them. 100%. You don't want to like this dry person who's going to like AI the shit out of you. No, I really agree, and I think, you know, people are starting to break away from that. And like, I think it's just about being bold.
100%.
Things might not work
Put
for
some stuff out there. Put some controversy out
there.
I love a good argument.
You want to
start some shit on LinkedIn.
Honestly, if I see a load of crap, I'm commenting. I'm like, that is a load of bollocks.
And I'm
yourself out.
I meet you outside your office at 5:30.
I mean, even Erin said today, it was like, all you do is start fights on LinkedIn. I'm like,
and you're like,
I
do. That's me. That's my thing.
I would rather do that because people are kind of like posting all these things like, this is the future. This is innovative. And I'm like, you're speaking a load of crap, my friend. Like,
it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
No,
with your secret sauce, it's not that deep.
And they're giving inspirational quotes that nobody cares about. It's not their problem.
No, you just give me goosebumps. I hate it.
Oh my God. I know. It can be. Show me your dog.
I'm sick of it.
What pets have you got?
Like, well, you get the boomers on there saying, "Oh, it's not Facebook. Don't do selfies."
It's also still a social
media. But do a little selfie now and then.
Social media,
like exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's definitely they're right. It's not Facebook, but maybe we can have a little bit more of a balance of fun and
especially in our industry.
Nobody's going to live or die with our decisions, so we have error. We have room for error.
Yeah.
But so try more things, experiment, be a bit more creative. And
I think that's
not that deep.
Building a brand's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Trial, error, just be authentic.
100%.
I don't know if
because you can be arsed with those people, can't you?
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the stuff Monzo put out on LinkedIn. It's so funny.
Is it?
Yeah, they just call
just silly.
I
love it.
It's so silly. It's like
more silly.
Like if Kev robs my lunch from the fridge again, I'm gonna deck him and stuff like that.
Like that I can fuck with.
Absolutely. I love like the Ryanair.
The Ryanair stuff is so
because they know. Sorry, Ryanair, if we ever want to work with you in the future, they're shit.
I love you, Ryanair.
They do.
Ryanair.
They know it, and they're like, so what? We're giving you a cheap flight, and we're getting you to the place that you want to get to. Like, fuck off with anything else.
They are bang on with that. But Ryanair, if you are listening, like, you do need to drop the price of the suitcases. Why did that ramp up so quick?
Yeah.
What is next for you guys?
Ooh, that's a spicy question.
Damn, girl.
Oh my God, I don't know. I feel like we've expanded a lot, like I say.
Yeah.
3 years, a lot has happened.
Absolutely.
We've gone from strength to strength, which wasn't even part of the original goal. Like I say, I was speaking to the owner, Tom, and this was never the plan at all.
Yeah.
What's next? I really don't know. Like, you can't predict it.
You kind of can't predict it. But I think obviously we'd like to be further established out in the world. Like we say, we've got 35 million in the UK, over 100 million in the US. I think we'd also like to be in kind of like APAC and further in Europe. In the future, that's on the cards. But also, like, how can we utilise the privileged position that we're in as an aggregator to collect all this data and with us having this 360 view, how can we, take data from all these different publishers and all these different parts of the world and formulate that in a way that we can give to a brand, an insight that no individual loyalty partner could provide. And that's kind of what we're working towards for sure in the future.
This year, definitely as well, like we've even discussed, like, let's put together an in-house like reporting system because we've got so much data at hand already from the past 3 years that we've been operating. What can we do with it? Like, what can we provide? Like Lucy said, we're in a really unique position where we've got all these publishers to hand, we've got all this data. What can we do with it? How can we help people with it?
Yeah, and not even, like just clients that you work with, but people in the wider industry. You could use that information and help brands make better informed decisions on the marketing, and that is so powerful.
100%.
Super powerful. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast.
Thank you
so much for having us. It's been so fun.
Yeah, it has.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Geography.